Hey everyone, you're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and here's today's comic, Detective Comics 1002. I just did a review of 1001 in my time, so they're literally back to back. I'm recording them, but I'm probably not going to publish them back to back. We'll see, I don't know. By the way, stay tuned at the end of the video for JL8 Comics if you care. But I'm gonna experiment with putting them on the tail end instead of the front end. Anyways, 1001. You should have watched that review already. It was great introduction. This cover, Duel to the Death of Arkham Knight. It does everything what comics should do. It leaves you with a big cliffhanger. The next comic should pick up right where you took off. Brian Michael Bendis, please contact Peter Tomasi for writing lessons of how to do comics. Let's get into it. Come on. Oh, cool. I love this. I just like this. See, look at that. Like head of a Joker. So, where do we leave off? Oh yeah, with Arkham Knight's foot on Batman's head. This day bomb was just a prologue, Batman. A hint of what's to come. What did you unleash on my city? Your city? So incredibly arrogant. I don't recall anyone ever giving it to you. You've blinded this city, wrapped its eyes with darkness, and pushed it into a black pit. In my mind, Gotham's a victim, a kidnapped victim, and you're the kidnapper. You're just another monster for me to put down. Who's worse, the monsters or the monster who scares the monsters? Oh man, look at that. What a first grade A. What a... sorry, I can't even put my thoughts together. What a fantastic way to start off a book. Just the writing here gets you... You're like, oh man, someone's beating on Batman. It's compelling. You want to know more about this character. The dialogue feels cool. It doesn't feel like self-impressed, like witty banter, oh so random bullshit. It's grade A Batman, bad guy versus good guy. The chips are down. What's going to happen? You want to know more. And then, bam, all those gunshots, and Arkham Knight just gets lit up. Batman's like, ah! Nobody move! And this time, it's the police showing up to save Batman's ass. Everyone, before this escalates, put your weapons down. They drew first blood. No. Batman does his little bolo thing, wraps up the police, and the guy's trying to de-escalate the fight, stop the violence. Enough! They hit Perkins! Take him down! Batman's still doing his best to stop, and it's just getting out of control. And then, boom. Cops are shooting. Oh, just the scene. Nice, big. No dialogue, no self-impress. I need to constantly be saying stuff because I'm that kind of writer. Just a confident, let the artist and the imagery do the talking. And it's important, too, because it also has some misdirection. The Knight deflected the misfired bullets with his own body. Saved the other cop's partner. Innocent bystanders and police all around. Make a choice. He's holding his little sun stars. I'm going to call them sun stars. I don't know what they're called. And he's just sitting there, Batman, down below, holding his batarang. The police. Everyone's just in a big Mexican standoff. Sirens, look at the lights. Imagine them flashing. It's holding the sun stars. Odd. This would be so real too. You'd see people like, oh, I gotta get this on, put that on YouTube. Batman, boom. Look at this. Got shot in the head. Holding him. The police still aiming. The tension is just building. Now even people are like, oh shit, now maybe I shouldn't take a picture. I should hightail it out of here. It's like a high impact round. Just staring at each other. Oh, the tension. I love this. Another time. Yes, another time. Flash. And then he does this little flashbang thing, get out of there, and Batman's like, car, to me. Ugh. The wounds are getting to him. Crowds converging, getting a little more confident to approach. Have to get out of... And he's collapsing, and then Gordon shows up to grab him. That was good moment. Oh, I love the Commissioner Gordon-Batman relationship. It's so awesome. And then there was this cool thing. It's like, I have to keep tracking evidence all around the scene. You can barely stand. I'll do a thorough check. Go plug yourself up. I'm going to have to find, and I'm going to have to take you in if you don't get the hell out of here. Hey, Carr, if you're listening, take this damn fool home. Affirmative. Taking fool home. I thought that was that's a funny way to do things, right? It's not overtly just trying to be silly Billy, but it's funny and it adds levity, and then it's done. It's done. I like this scene here. I particularly like when artists draw Batman bulky. I think Bruce Wayne should be a hulking beast. Not like the Hulk or anything, but I don't like a skinny Batman. This is a guy who doesn't have super strength or superpowers or whatever, and he has to take down some pretty strong villains. And if you are just, 6 foot, 200-pound lean machine, yeah, you can be a decent fighter or whatever, but overpowering and not getting as good as you get, that's how you, in real fights, like, you have to dominate. It's not enough to just win fights. And you would need this strength. And I think he would be a pretty jacked up individual. Anyway, that's just my opinion. And I just like seeing Bruce depicted in this way. So here we have Damian, of course. I think Tomasi writes Damian the best way. I don't really like this character except under him. He's still cocky, but has respect and love for his father, and there's some development here, and I hope that gets done more. So Damian's kind of criticizing his father. He's like, oh, you should have just, took him out. You're too easy on him. And so while he's getting patched up, Damian's like, I'm going to go investigate this scene for these pieces of this explosion on the sun, blah, 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 blah. And, of course, he goes down to the wreckage, and he gets alerted. Oh, there's people. And suggest evasive action. And here we have more of the Knights of the Sun coming in on him. Whoa, no kidding. I guess I'm not the only one with a retrieval idea. And we get this underwater fight. Looks like they plan to keep me alive. I'll do the same, but leave them a harsher reminder. And he electrocutes or shocks back. So you want to play rough? Okay, good. My middle name, smashes his face in with whatever this gun thing is rough. And they swim away. So Damian's like, aha, nice try, idiots. And at first I was like, really? Damian kicked all their asses when Batman had a hard time? Better get what I came for before I lose my bearings. Once I get this back to the cave under the Micron, and then someone was hiding in the shadows. It was a trick. So they outsmarted him. Bah! They shock him with a cattle prod or whatever that thing is. Make room for one more in the sub, and there's our villain. And then Damian's captured and brought back to their little hideout, and we can see, look, the villain has made a special suit for Robin. And he's like, this is no museum, my young friend. This is a castle and a dungeon, a place of happiness and a place of suffering, not just for its residents, but for those who have lived in its shadow too, corrupted, drowning in the darkness of the bat. You're a robin, a songbird, a creature of the day being tainted by the dark. I'm not only Gotham's savior, young man, I'm yours. I'll leave you to contemplate all that was said. Professor Failty joined my crusade. I've got my own crusade to worry about, Sir Yap-a-Lot. Night Guy's taken all my texts and no way to contact Bruce or Alfred. And then we get to see Robin being clever and smart and finds a way to escape. But he's going through the tunnels. But joke's on him. They were waiting the whole time. And then we see these people that Arkham Knight has on his side. We see, was that Clayface? It looks like maybe Dr. Freeze, Mad Hatter, Hugo Strange, I believe. I'm not sure who that guy is. Bats or Breen will tell me. And then, of course, Solomon Grundy, all working for this guy. Stubborn and persistent. So I'm guessing you're having doubts about stepping into the light. Well, Robin, seems like I'll need to try harder to convince you to join me. And he takes off his helmet to reveal. But we don't see next branded. So who is this? Well, I know who this is in the video game because everyone spoiled it for me. A lot of people are like, man, I hope that's not what that is. So I'm not going to spoil it for you and say you probably already know. But if you don't, I'm hoping it's not too, because it really wouldn't make sense in the DC continuity. So I'm intrigued. I'm like, who is this guy? And I want to know more. That's what a comic should do. It should make me go, oh, I got to read the next issue. So far, 2 for 2. Not the emotional depth that, again, the first run had, at least for the first 2 issues, but just solid, good comics. Excitement, fun, compelling mystery. You got the villain down. You're like wondering what's going to happen. So it's a really strong plot device. Dialogue of the characters, I can't really fault it. The only thing that I can say is like it's, this fill-in artist, but he's doing a good job. So, yeah, another thumbs up. Definitely recommend Detective Comics. Just like I have been, it's solid book. I would have bought this book in the 90s. This is better. I did buy Detective Comics in the 90s, and this is better than Detective Comics in the 90s. So we talk about how, like, I do all the time at least, that the mid-80s to mid-90s was like the real golden age of comics. It's, in my opinion, the best it's ever been. Well, that's my bar. So if a comic can at least, if I could say this comic I would have bought during that era, that tells me it's a really solid comic. If I can say this comic is better than like the equivalent book in that era, then that's really high praise. So yeah, I can't say enough for this. Get it. If you're a fan of good comics, if you like Batman, there is no reason why you shouldn't be getting Detective Comics, especially since 1001 is perfect jumping on point. Perfect. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm not sure I want to get into the 1,000 issue. No, don't worry about it. It sets up here. Boom. Batman, go. You're in good hands with Tomasi. So buy this book. Move the needle. If you don't know what that means, it means posting on social media with the hashtag Move the Needle. Originally, it was about if someone recommended a book to you and you ended up buying it based on the recommendation, then you would post it, tag the person who recommended to show, hey, I bought this book because Ash recommended it to me, Move the Needle. Maybe other people would then go, oh, I'm going to try to buy it too. And then they would post you, and it would be this chain effect. That didn't really catch on as well as I'd hoped. And now people just use the tag to show, hey, I like these books, Move the Needle. That's fine. It's really to show the industry. It's not about books that they're selling to retailers, because they can sell lots of books based on gimmicks and things like that, right? It's about what people want to read. And it's the long-term things, right? They could do some gimmick with Detective Comics like 1000, and they're going to sell a ton of those books because of the gimmick. But that doesn't necessarily mean fans are saying, yay, this is what we want the industry to know. And it's working. We're seeing effects. Marvel is still terrible, but they're less terrible than they were a year ago. They're actually making some changes. Of course, they're never going to admit it, but we can see. So, dogs are drinking. It's time to end the video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Smash the buttons. Don't break your computer or your phone when you do it. Put your comments. I love comments. I try to respond to every comment. Discord, you're invited to come chat about comics. I don't know what else to say. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every view. As a small YouTuber, believe me, every view matters. And I know you have time. There's millions of videos to watch, so the fact you're watching mine means a lot. Thank you much. I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, and then there's the comic. It's time for another JL8 webcomic. Strip number 22 by Yale Stewart. Well, since we can't play tag, I say we shoot marbles. Marbles? Yeah, I love marbles. Marbles are boring. You're boring. Nuh-uh. Yes, huh? Guys, please, I'm trying to concentrate. We all know marbles are awesome. And how Karen is no more boring than you. Poof. Cough, cough. What's happening? Sorry, wrong marble.